Greetings, fellow Portal Masters. Greetings, fellow Portal Masters. I'm Rowsell, and it's once again time to crash Skylands with another episode of Discuss The Skylands here on the channel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3 of this series. I hope you enjoyed the last two as much as I enjoyed filming them over the last little while. It's pretty great. It's a great series where you can just sit down and just talk to each other. Good little meme series. Maybe I'll just do a discussion series every Thursday. Probably not. But if this goes well, maybe I will. Who knows? But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in for episode 3 of this series. And last week I did hint towards it. It is My First Skylander. Now, there's a little bit of rule to this. I'm not going to include starter pack Skylanders. So that's the one thing you got to look around. So even if you did start off with a starter pack and you played nothing but Tree Rex the whole time, we're going to say no to that. I want it to be the first Skylander you bought that was separate. It could be a used one. It could be a brand new one. But it's the first Skylander you bought. And well, I did happen to start off with Spyro, Gilgrunt, and Trigger Happy because I've been here since day 1, baby. Well, it was like months after, but regardless, day 1, baby. Day like 97, baby. Regardless, though, I did start off with the original 3, and I played through the game with them right from the beginning all the way to the end. I actually recorded it for a really old channel, like a Pushpin Gamer. I actually recorded it and played through the whole thing. Really enjoyed the game, and then when I got to the final battle with Chaos, I couldn't beat them with the 3. Which is funny, because I can beat them all by myself now with Trigger Happy. Regardless, and Bash, and a bunch of other ones, actually. New series, can I beat Chaos with this Skylander? Ooh. Now, looking at it, I could have beat them. I could have took the time out of the day to do that, but I decided not to. I literally just stopped playing the game. But then I was like, you know what? After I beat the game, so maybe I'm going to have to buy a few more. And I was like, I'll go ahead and buy maybe like 1 or 2 so I can have extra Skylanders have in the background. They're only like $10 a piece. I was living by myself at the time, and I was saving some money and all this. So I'm like, you know what? I can afford to spend $10 or $20 on a couple Skylanders. And so I went to EB Games, the one that I used to frequent all the time, the same place where I bought the original Skylanders too, which is very ironic because the store's closed down. No, that's a sad story. But I went there and I was like, okay, I'm going to try to get one of every element maybe. I'll get one Skylander from each element so I can, go to the elemental gates that are there and do the odds and ends and stuff. And I get there and all they had on the shelf was Drobot. And I'm like, oh, it's a tech Skylander. Drobot, whatever, I need more Skylanders, so I'll just buy it, whatever. I've got that one. I'm not even joking, a couple days later I went and bought Zook and Baby Boy here behind me. That's right, Bash has been one of my first ever Skylanders. But I bought Drobots and went home with him, started playing with him. He's a robot, he shoots eye lasers. I think I'm going to like this guy. And yeah, I kind of did. So, fun fact, besides for Spyro, Drobot was one of the first Skylanders I maxed out. I think it was Spyro, then Trigger, then Bash, and then Drobot. One of the first, because I wanted them maxed out basically. I know Gilgrunt took a while. Gilgrunt I never maxed out for a while. But as my dad leaves the room for some reason, Maggie, come back here. I see your butt, come back here. So, Drobot was one of the first ones I fully leveled up because I wanted to play as him, and I played with him a lot, and I used to keep leveling him up and stuff. And, you know what? Played with him a bunch. Even got Bash and Zuko part of it, went back to fight Chaos, and completely forgot about wanting to fight Chaos, and went and collected all the other Skylanders instead. It was ironic. Literally a year or 2 later, I stopped and went, wait, I didn't do the final episode. So I literally went back into the game 2 years later and played the game on the channel and was like, oh yeah, so I didn't beat Chaos, so here's the final episode. The joke was that I only had like 20 subscribers and no one really watched anyway. So I'm like, sorry you guys had to wait this long, but no one was waiting that long. That's why it's funny. But yes, Drobot was the first Skylander I bought. I remember going into the store and seeing, I think, 5 or 6 of them on the wall. It was just Drobot. And I was like, oh. So I said to the girl working there, I'm just like, oh, I'm trying to get one of every element. She's like, yeah, we've had him for a while now. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll just get him. It's something I can use. And I'm looking at it now. How funny is that? Drobot, who is one of the best Skylanders ever, the last one standing in the Trapmaster lock, remember? My favorite Trapmaster is Drobot. Ironic. One of probably everyone out there's favorite Skylander was my first Skylander, which is pretty cool. Looking back at it, it's pretty great, but there's a little silver line to this one though, because next week we're going to talk about my last Skylander. Because if you guys didn't know, I do have my collection finished. I'm missing some variants and some originals, but I do have every one of them, so next week I think we're going to talk about my last Skylander, from first to last. Good band, if you never listened to them. They're very emo from back in the day. But yes, My First Skylander Robot. I want you guys to leave your opinions. Leave your first Skylander in the comments below. Is it Robot? What did you start with Robot, or did you start late into the game? Maybe your first Skylander, besides for the starter pack, was like Crash Bandicoot. Something like that. Let me know. I really want to see this. I love seeing this, especially seeing how people got introduced to the game. I mean, I've talked about before how I got into Skylanders, but I mean, I'm definitely going to talk about that in a later episode of this. Just saying. So next week, get ready to talk about your last Skylander, but for right now, talk about your first. But I will see you next Thursday for another episode of, I was going to say, honestly, half hour, Discuss The Skylands. It's right here. I didn't point. I did it again. I pointed over there. I'll get it at some point. See you next week. But as always, I bid you farewell.